Today, we're digging into a deal that is, frankly, pretty wild. It's a brand new, totally unprecedented agreement between the US government and the giants of the semiconductor world. This is where national security, global economics, and a whole lot of money crash into each other in a way we've just never seen before. So let's get into it.
So really, the whole thing boils down to one single question. Can you actually put a price tag on selling sensitive technology to a rival nation? And maybe more importantly, should you? Well, this new policy says yes, you can. And because of that, it's forcing everybody to completely rethink the rules of the game.
And here it is. This is the number at the very center of this story. 15%. Get this. That's how much revenue from certain AI chip sales to China companies like NVIDIA and AMD now have to hand over directly to the US Treasury. It's not a tax, it's not a tariff, it's like the government is taking a direct commission. Okay, so what is this thing, officially? It's being called a revenue sharing agreement. Basically, in return for getting an export license, permission to sell these super powerful specific AI chips in China, the tech companies have to give the government 15% of the money they make. This is a huge, huge shift from how these things are normally handled.
And this is where you can really see how much the thinking has changed. On one hand, you have the traditional way. It's pretty straightforward. If a technology is considered a security risk, you ban it. Period. The goal is one thing: national security. But now, look at the new arrangement. Suddenly, there are two goals: national security and money for the Treasury. The method isn't to ban anymore. It's to monetize.
So, as you can probably guess, this whole policy has kicked off an absolute firestorm of a debate. It really comes down to two sides clashing over one big question. Is this a brilliant new strategy, or is it a dangerously flawed idea? Let's hear from both camps. First up, you have the national security experts, and they are sounding the alarm loud and clear. A group of them came out and said, hey, these aren't just computer parts. They believe this exact technology could be used to build things like autonomous drones, super advanced surveillance systems, and tech that can make battlefield decisions faster than a human ever could. And then you have this point from trade expert Deborah Elms, which just cuts right to the heart of the debate. Her argument is just so simple and sharp. If these chips are a national security problem, then they're a national security problem. Taking a 15% cut of the profits doesn't magically make that problem go away. It really forces you to ask, well, which is it? So how on earth did we get here? I mean, a deal like this doesn't just materialize out of nowhere. It's really the latest move in a long-running, high-stakes game of chess over technology. Let's quickly trace the steps that led to this moment. Okay, so let's rewind a bit. Back in 2023, the US puts these major restrictions on AI chip exports. So what does NVIDIA do? They create a special, modified chip, the H20, just for the Chinese market, designed to follow the rules. But then, by early 2024, those chips get blocked too. That created a total stalemate, which is what paved the way for this, let's call it a compromise to get sales going again, but with this new 15% fee attached. And here's the view from inside the industry, coming from NVIDIA's own CEO. For these companies, it isn't just about this quarter's sales numbers. They see it as a global technology race. The argument is, if the US pulls out of these markets completely, it could lose its leadership spot in AI altogether. Kind of like some people say happened with 5G technology. But you can't just look at this chip deal in a vacuum. To really get why this is happening right now, you have to zoom out and see it as just one piece of a much larger, much more complicated puzzle involving economic pressure, corporate promises, and the whole US-China relationship. The whole situation is pretty tense. There's this temporary pause on tariffs that's about to run out, and at the same time, there's a ton of pressure on these big companies to show they're investing in America. That whole background context is key to understanding the motivation for such a strange and creative deal. And you can see that pressure is working. I mean, look at these numbers. These are massive investment commitments to the US. We're talking Apple with $100 billion, Micron with $200 billion, and NVIDIA, wow, pledging $500 billion. So this 15% deal, it fits right into that bigger picture. link a company's access to foreign markets with its commitment to invest back home. So what does this all mean going forward? I think the biggest question we have to ask is whether this is just a one-time thing, or have we just witnessed the creation of a brand new playbook for how powerful countries will manage technology and trade from now on? Which leaves us with this final, really provocative question. Are we heading into a future where national security risks aren't just blocked anymore, but are actually calculated, managed, and turned into a revenue stream? Is this what global trade is going to look like now? That's the billion-dollar question that this deal forces all of us to think about.